Greetings, my friends. As you see from the to-do list for this week, one of the things you have on the list is doing a mini literature review. So in a subsequent video, I'm going to talk about some of the details about how to go ahead and do a quality literature review. But in this one, I want to talk a little bit about how to read a research article and how to get the needed information from that article that can help you write a good literature review and really pull the essential pieces from a research article. It's a real skill, and I think for a lot of students it can be a little bit intimidating. Where do I start? There seems to be so much here. What do I need to make sure that I'm paying attention to? What do I need to make sure that I'm pulling out? So this is designed to help you guys be able to do that well. So if you take a look right here, I've got an example of an annotated bibliography from a research article. And I think these different pieces are the things you want to be paying attention to as you're reading an article. And I would strongly suggest that you either adopt this format that I have here or modify one for yourself to help you get the needed information from the article. So if I'm reading this article, for example, this article by Hip, Kaufman, Pancake, and Olivier on sustaining professional learning communities, the first thing is I'm going to want to make sure that I've got the correct APA format there. So if you're having trouble still with APA format, go ahead to the APA website and take a look at that and make sure you're double checking with everything what the correct format is. And then regardless of the research article, I'm always going to want to start off with, what are they trying to do here? What's their purpose? What research questions are they trying to answer up front? You should be able to get that from either the abstract or really early on in the article. Then you want to go to the methodology. You don't have to dig into all the details of the methodology, because I know sometimes that can be, again, more detailed than you probably need, and sometimes more than many can understand. But try to get at, is it a qualitative study, right? Or is it a quantitative study? Is it mixed methods? What are some of the different ways that they're trying to answer their research questions? Again, if you take a look here, it talks about it's a qualitative case study approach. A case study is where you're looking at just a small number of examples of whatever the topic is you're trying to study. And it talks about how the data was collected. So it not just it talks about it was qualitative, but it says it was collected via interviews with principals and teachers. And if it was quantitative, you'd want to talk about the method of actually gathering that data. Then you want to have some bullet points on what were the key findings. And so, and I would largely, skip over the statistics that you may get bogged down to in a research article and try to get to, what were their results, what were their conclusions based on those results, because a lot of times the statistics can be very intimidating as well. So again, you typically have 3 or 4 bullet points in terms of what the results were, and you want to make sure that those results are connected back to the research questions as much as possible. So if you take a look here, result number 1, collaboration among teachers increased in both schools, with critical friends and peer coaching being the primary methods of collaborating. It goes directly back to a couple of these research questions that they're trying to ask. And then finally, at the end of any research article, the authors are going to talk about the meaning of the results, and then what are some potential next steps. And a short paragraph summarizing those would certainly be appropriate. And then I would suggest at the end of your little annotated bibliography, try to pull out a quote or two. Because a lot of times when you're doing your literature review, and again, I'll talk about that more in a following screencast, you're going to want to pull out some quotes from the particular article to kind of support what the authors are saying. So you see I've pulled out a quote here that potentially could be helpful. If we take a look at another example, so here's another example of an annotated bibliography that's done on a different article, the study of 3 years of professional learning and community work. Again, I've got the purpose, research questions, methodology, and results. And this time I've pulled out a few additional quotes. Found a few more quotes from this article that I thought might be beneficial. And what this does is, if you do an annotated bibliography this way, when it becomes time to write a literature review, you've got your different articles already summarized. You know what the key results were. You can pull out a few quotes to add to it. So it's doing some extra work up front, that really kind of helps it pay off later on down the road. And also it helps you kind of keep everything organized that are the key pieces. So the next time you're reading a research article, I would strongly suggest you kind of have these different headings out while you're reading the article and try to fill in some of these pieces. It'll really help you make more sense in the research article and will help you in any literature reviews that you have to do. As always, if you have any questions on this, don't hesitate to reach out. Hope you guys have a great day.